Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac, an arch book. This is based on Genesis chapter 15, 1 through 6, chapter 17, 15 through 19, chapter 21, verses 1 through 7, and chapter 22, 1 through 18. That's a lot. Long ago, in a distant land, there lived a righteous man. He had great faith in God the Lord. He knew God had a plan. This man, whose name was Abraham, was blessed with many things, like servants, cattle, sheep, and goats, and gold and silver rings. He had a faithful, loving wife, and Sarah was her name. She had no children of her own. It made her feel great shame. God promised this to Abraham: someday your family will number more than stars above or sand that's near the sea. How can that be? Thought Abraham. We have no children now. I'm sure we are too old for kids, but I believe God's vow. Then one day, God appeared to him. To Abraham, he said, "Quite soon your wife will bear a son. He'll follow in your stead." Within a year, Isaac was born, just as God said he'd be. So Abraham and Sarah, too, were filled with joy and glee. They knew that they'd been richly blessed. Their thankful hearts were glad. They watched their dear son Isaac grow into a fine young lad. It was not long before God spoke to Abraham once more. "Take Isaac to a special place he's never been before. I'll lead you to a mountain high. You'll build an altar there and offer him as sacrifice, your son, your much-loved heir." So the next morning Abraham said to his son, "Arise, we'll worship God up on a mount. Let's pack up our supplies." For several days they traveled on. Before they saw the place, they built an altar to the Lord high up in a small space. When Isaac looked around, he cried, "We do not have a lamb." "God will provide our offering," responded Abraham. Wood was stacked on the altar first. Isaac was laid on top. As Abraham took out his knife, a voice called out, "No, stop. No need to sacrifice your son. You proved your faith in me. See, in the bush there is a ram, so Isaac may go free." They worshiped there, father and son, and thanked the Lord above for all the blessings they'd been given, for mercy, grace, and love. That is Abraham, Sarah, and Isaac, an arch book.